Since we don't have any problems with the addition or subtraction signs, let's look at each one and see what we've got here. Part A, you've got the square root of 2 times x cubed y to the 4th. So again, you can have a number by itself, you can have a variable by itself, or you can have the product of numbers and variables. We can be multiplying together numbers and variables. Well, as you can see here we're multiplying together a number, the square root of 2, with some variables, x cubed and y to the 4th. Well, this does fit the billing here because the definition said the exponents have to be whole numbers. 3 and 4 are whole numbers there. So, since everything fits, this is going to be a monomial. And again, primary reasoning here is because what's most important looking at this one is that the exponents are whole numbers. They don't actually have to even have exponents. It could just be x and y, and that would be okay. If we look at B, on the other hand, though, we see the same square root sign, but the problem is the square root is on y. Now, you've already learned about the square root of y this year because we've already talked about squares and square roots and how they're inverses of each other. So if I'm taking the square root of y, what I really mean is y to the 1/2 power. Well, that's a problem because remember what the billing says here, what the definition says, is that the exponents can only be whole numbers. Well, 1/2 would not be a whole number. There's nothing wrong with the 3 or the x cubed. There's nothing wrong with this being multiplication. What's the problem is this square root of y here. If the square root was on the 3, just like over here in A, it would work out fine because we'd just be multiplying together numbers and variables. But because it's the square root of y, which is the same as y to the 1/2 power, the half power is the issue here because we cannot have an exponent that's not equal to a whole number. So here, y does not have an exponent that's a whole number, so this is not a monomial. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 2 here. In number 2, we're supposed to identify which each of these is based on the criteria they gave us in the definition page. So it could be a monomial, could be a binomial, could be a trinomial. If it's bigger than that, we'll just call it a polynomial, or it might not be anything at all.